Aloha friends, this is Tito for the LoliNation blog, coming to you for this edition of the quick tips of a wonderful Wednesdays. And yes, wonderful indeed. And as promised, I would come to you on more insights on the 7 principles towards a prodigious attitude. And that is to learn from the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. Now, I would share with you today the 4-letter word that gets in our way to achieve that 7th principle. At the same time, I said I'd illustrate the insights of the 7 principles by using a moment and experience I've had just last week that helped me solidify my understanding of this 7th principle. I'm going to start with that. Last weekend, I went to see The Green Lantern with my kids. Great movie. You should go see it. But more importantly, it helped me understand something. Now, I'm not as familiar with the Green Lantern's source. I knew about the superhero, but I didn't quite understand where his superhero powers came from. After seeing the movie, it is my understanding that the Green Lantern is a superhero. It's a team of superheroes, actually, that comes from a different planet that oversees the universe. They get their superpowers because it was harnessed through the power of will that's been created in the universe from every inhabitant of the universe. That power of will gives the Green Lantern their superpowers. At one point in their history, that's the Green Lantern story, the superpowers were diminishing because the energy coming from the power of will was reducing. There was not enough will going around the universe. Therefore, the Guardians from the planet decided to see if they could harness energy from the power of fear. Yes, fear. Now, fear, that's the 4-letter word I wanted to share with you. That's the word that gets in the way for most of us to achieve the 7th principles towards a prodigious attitude, which is to learn from the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. Fear is something that is powerful and can react and make you act in different ways. We've all heard that expression, right? Caught like a deer in the headlights. A deer sees a bunch of headlights coming at them, and suddenly it stops. It just freezes. It's paralyzed. It's not moving forward. It's not moving backwards. It doesn't get out of the way. It just looks at it and hits bang on. That's what fear does to you. That's a deer that reacts in fear. And that happens to us as human beings as well, because we get paralyzed. We don't move on. We don't let go of the clutch. We keep pressing the clutch, like the example I gave to you on Monday. Now, fear has another side of it in terms of its power. Why is that? That power actually comes from the fact that fear is ingrained in our DNA. It was put inside of us as human beings back in our prehistoric days to escape from danger. When we were attacked by dinosaurs, big beasts coming at us that wanted to feed on human beings, we had to escape and fight hard to escape that. So it enhances a lot of powers inside of us. Power of speed, power of strength, power of observation. When you are getting into fear, all your senses are heightened. And if you know how to control it, it can make you very powerful. So powerful indeed that it can sometimes explode into violent nature when you defend yourself out of fear. A lot of wars are started out of fear. Fear that someone would invade you. Fear that someone would take over your house. Fear that someone would hurt your family. That's what fear does to you. Fear is a powerful weapon. Harnessing it is very difficult. And that's what the history or the story within Green Lantern demonstrate, that it's so difficult to harness the power of fear. Now, how do you face fear to help you move forward from the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future? Very simple. No, some people say you must be fearless. I say not necessarily. Being fearless doesn't really exist. Fear is within us. Having no fear does not exist because it's ingrained in the human DNA. What being fearless truly means is having the courage to confront and face your fear and know what it is. To face it up front. To make it a stand in front of you as it has to be and gets in the way. So when you learn from the mistakes in the past, and we've all made mistakes and will continue to make some more. I've made so many mistakes in my past and I'm expecting to make some more in the future because every time I make a mistake, I learn. Don't want to make the same mistake twice. That's not learning, because you haven't learned if you make the same mistake twice. But every time I've made a mistake, I learn. So I've got to confront if I've not learned from that mistake, and that mistake is getting in my way to get to my success, which is to reach my worthy goal, which is your goal. What are you going to do? What gets in the way? What fear do you have that prevents you from moving forward, from learning from those mistakes, and press on to the greater achievements of your future? So the quick tips for this Wednesday is very simple. It's one thing and one thing only, as usual. Take a pen and paper. If you've done the exercise I've given you on Monday, which is to list the biggest mistakes that you made that got in your way to get to your success, which is your worthy goals. List those mistakes and take a look at what you have not done to overcome those mistakes or to learn from them. What fears do you have? Do you fear failing? Do you fear of success? Fear of failure is the biggest fear in all of our lives, aside from the fear of speaking in public. Fear of failure paralyzes all of us because we don't want to move forward. Sometimes fear of failure, we are so fearing the failure of our success that we prevent ourselves from making ourselves better. Fear of looking incompetent. Fear of the fact that people will look at you and say that you're stupid, that you're wrong, that you don't know what you're talking about. Those are fears that paralyze all of us in our learning, and it's unfortunate. We must, however, know that it's there. We must, however, understand that it is present and have the courage. Muster up that courage. Face it. Know what it stands for, and get to see how you get over that fear to become fearless. That's the quick tips for this wonderful Wednesdays. I'm looking forward to coming to you on the Fabulous Fridays for more insights in the 7th principles towards a prodigious attitude, where I promise you that we'll go in deeper in helping you understand how to overcome the fear and press on to the greater achievements of the future. As always, remember, what you've done in the past makes who you are today. But what you do today, you must do. You must go out there and get it done. What you do today will define who you become tomorrow. This is Tito for the LoliNation blog saying aloha and mahalo. Until next time, your prodigious success.